कृष्णाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी इति नामि नमस्ते सरस्वती देव गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवा पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव जय जय गुरुदेव जय जय गुरुदेव जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतश्री श्रील अभय चरण भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी जगत गुरु शिल प्रभुपाद की जय इस्कॉन बीबीटी फाउंडर आचार्य इस डिवाइन ग्रेस शिल प्रभुपाद की जय जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतश्री श्रीमद शिल भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय नमाचार्य श्रीलदास ठाकुर की जय प्रेम से गौ श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपिनाथ श्यामकुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय वृंदावन मथुरा धाम की जय मायापुर नवोदय धाम की जय जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय, श्रीमद् भगवद गीता पाठकारी भक्त बिंद की जय, समवेत वैष्णव बिंद की जय, निताय गौर ब्रह्मानंदे हरि हरि बोल. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, Ajit ji, nice to see you.
Hare
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Somen Prabhu, Mother Bhaswati, Param Karuna Prabhu, Kamaniya Prabhu, and Philip is here, Prahladananda Prabhu is here. Good.
Haribol.
Hare
Hari
Krishna.
Hari Bol.
So we are
I'm
almost
glad Ajit
ending.
Bhai is attending your classes, Prabhuji. Ajit Bhai is attending regularly now, so that's so good.
Yeah, he's becoming very serious. Good
Very
sign.
good.
Good sign. He's tired of this world, I think. He wants to go back to God.
That's so good.
and a lot of credit goes to Pankaj Bhai. He's our teacher, the guru in there too. So all credit to him too.
Thank you. You are all have a devotional quality to appreciate each other. That's nice. So we are almost at the end of 7th chapter, but each verse is very important. So we are going to begin today with the text 28. And just to catch where we started, let us invoke the mercy of Lord Vasudeva by chanting 3 times. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritam Naranjaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udhirayat. Nashtaprayesu abhadresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistaki. Mukhaṁ karati vācālam pangulangayate girim. Jatkripatamaham bande Sri Guru Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram. So we discussed that this chapter deals with 3 subject matter. We mentioned many times, hopefully by this time we memorize this whole life. This chapter is concerned with knowledge of absolute Krishna and the process of attaining that knowledge and the end result of such attainment. So that's very nice. And because we are ending today, hopefully, maybe 1 more week, I'm not sure. It was break down how gradual progression. So let us begin with text 28. Ajit ji, you want to start with that, Prabhu?
Yes, I'll be glad to.
Okay.
Do you want me to read just the translation or?
No, the sloka first. Jashantu is a famous sloka. Jashantu antagata papam.
Okay. Yasham tva antagatam papam jananam punya karmanam te devan vadva moha nirmukta bhajante mam dradha vratha. Translation. Okay. Yasam means whose, tu means but, antagatam, completely eradicated, papam, sin, jananam, of the person, punya, pious, karma, karmanam, whose previous activity, te, they, vandva, of duality, moha, delusion, nirmukta, free from, bhajante, engaged in devotional service, mam, to me, dradhavrata, with determination. And the translation is, persons who have acted piously in previous lives and in this life, and whose sinful actions are completely eradicated, are free from the delusion of dualities of delusion, and they engage themselves in my service with determination.
You know, the word delusion, couple years back I learned it. I didn't know exactly. I thought illusion and delusion, they are almost like synonyms or something. When we don't find connection, anything has connection with God, that is illusion. When we don't see any connection, anything or any person, if we do not see the connection with God, that is illusion. When we want to possess that illusion, oh, it's mine, my car, I want to buy this, I want to ride this, I want to buy this home. First of all, I don't see the connection with God and the house. So that is illusion. My perception is illusion. But when I think I want this for me, that is not illusion only, it's delusion. So delusion is a possessive on illusion. It's very scary. Okay. Please go on the purport.
Purport. Those eligible for elevation to the transcendental position are mentioned in this verse. For those who are sinful, atheistic, foolish, and deceitful, it is very difficult to transcend the dualities of desire and hate. Only those who have passed their lives in practicing the regulative principles of religion, who have acted piously, and who have conquered sinful reactions can accept devotional service and gradually rise to the pure knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then gradually they can meditate in trance on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the process of being situated on the spiritual platform. This elevation is possible in Krishna consciousness in the association of pure devotees. For in the association of great devotees, one can be delivered from delusion. It is stated in the Wed.Bhagavad Gita 5.5.2 that if one actually wants to be liberated, he must render service to the devotees, Mahat Sevam Devaram Ahur Vimukte. But one who associates with materialistic people is on the path leading to the darkest region of existence. Tamo, Dwaram, Yositam, Sangi, Sangam. All the devotees of the Lord traverse this earth just to recover the conditioned soul from their delusion. The impersonalists do not know that forgetting their constitutional position as subordinate to the Supreme Lord is the greatest violation of God's law. Unless one is reinstated in his own constitutional position, it is not possible to understand the Supreme Personality or to be fully engaged in his transcendental loving service with determination.
Very good. So while I was hearing your reading, I was thinking that Krishna is saying, okay, all living entities are born in illusion. How can they be free from illusion? That's the question. How can they be free from the illusion? So now in this verse, he's explaining very nicely. Jashantu antagata papam. This is one of the verse that a lot of devotee meditates on it. Of course, Prabhupada has a special explanation on this verse when he was explaining in the West, amongst the Western devotee. There was no Indian body at that time. That you have to have pious credit from previous life and this life in order to be fixed in devotional path. So one of the Western devotees says, Prabhupada, after the class, he raised his hand, he says, I don't know about past, I don't remember. But in this life, I did not do anything until I met you. My mother was eating beef when I was in her womb. She ate beef as I was growing up. There was nothing pious. There was absolutely nothing pious. All breaking rules, smoking, drinking, is all there. So then Prabhupada looked at the verse, he said, yes, you are right. But then he was very compassionate. He said, I made your pious credit. So as you read in the purport, the association of pure devotee, association of, even in ISKCON today, there are so many great souls. It's very rare to actually find someone and associate and take advantage of this process. So here this verse says, Jashamtu antagata papam, that papa for those people has ended. Anta means done. They are no more sinning. Jananam punna karmana. They have performed punna. Punna for jananam. Those people who have performed punna, when they have performed punna or piety, Srila Prabhupada is explaining this life and previous life. So punna they perform. Te danda mohani mukta. They will become free from moha. Moha of danda, then bhajante mam drira brata. They will start worship me determinedly. So what is the point of this saying? We have to understand this in the flow. Now, if you remember, a few weeks back, we talked about 7.14. If Krishna says, if you know me, you take my shelter, you can be liberated. And then in 7.25, we also read last week, he says that not everyone knows me. Trivir Gunair Mahir Bhavai Sarvamidam Jagat. Those verses are, he says. Then he's saying now, I'm not in illusion. The living entities are in illusion. So how can they come out of illusion? Krishna is telling over here, if they give up papa, sinful activity, they gain punna. Then they come to the position where they will do my bhakti steadily, dhira brata, determinedly. So here Krishna is talking about how can they become serious, steady devotee. I'm sure some of you thought many times, I want to become steady, fix, Krishna conscious, advance. I want to advance and remain fixed. Yeah, it's natural. In principle, Devotional service can be started from any mode. Even a drunkard can take a book and appreciate that. His devotion already started. Param Karuna Prabhu is here. I see he distributes so much books, so many books. And most of the people he gives is all sinful probably. You know, they're either drinking or smoking or doing something out of breaking this four regulative principle. But the moment they take the book, their devotion path already started. Later on we see 1716, Krishna mentioned 4 kinds of people comes to him, or he said comes to me. Then 1717, he says the Gyanis are the best, because Gyani means one who is thoughtful, eager to learn, and they practice with the knowledge. They are not motivated by anything material, but motivated at platform of knowledge, you can say. So Sri Krishna is saying, if one wanted to become steady, one has to become free from sin. One has to do piety. So as devotee, we know there are regulative principles. And if we know these regulative principles, we commit sinful activities, which leads to consequences which we need to avoid. Those consequences, when we avoid, we will move forward and we practice devotional service. By that way, Danda Moha Nirmukta. Actually, Danda Moha is always there. But when Danda Moha is far, far creeping, crippling, then it is in ignorance or passion. In Tamagun, ignorance, the person does not like anything which is connected with transcendence or goodness. It likes only those things which are ignorant. So one may like to smoke, drink, take drugs, like violence. Now in goodness, there is also Danda. This is good, this is bad. You'll see, even devotee, we think like that sometimes. Oh, if I think like this is not good. If I think like this is good. If I act like this is good. If I act like this, no, this is bad, sinful. It will go bad. This danda is there. So danda in ignorance, duality is always there with 3 modes. And ultimately, when we come to transcendence, danda goes off completely. That is when we attain liberation. So Krishna is saying here, when one keeps doing piety, keeps avoiding sin, then gradually the effect of lower modes decreases. When the effect of lower modes decreases, one becomes more and more situated in goodness. Then eventually, from goodness, one can come to transcendence. Transcendence means, Prabhus and mothers, you will feel like, I don't want to smoke anymore, never. I don't want to eat meat or fish, all this, no. When you see these 4 regulative principles, you don't have any inclination to break ever. And you chanting seriously. You want to hear about Krishna. In one sense, you are already above the 3 modes, as long you can hold on to that. So Krishna is not talking about initiating bhakti yoga. He has already talked about 7:16. He's talking about installing oneself in bhakti steadily. For that, one need to get rid of sinful activity. Also, we see in our spiritual life that to the extent we will come to sin, to that extent, our bhakti will be disturbed. Actually, the scum to sin itself is a break in bhakti. But along with that, also, before we come to sin, there is a temptation. I hope you all understand what I'm trying to say. After that, there is a lamentation. Why did I do that? I know I should not do this, but why did I do that? So first temptation, the lamentation. It's very practical. Those who are in the counseling or psychology department, they will be fully aware of these things. So it is like if we are going at one level of consciousness, there is a fall, but before the fall, there is a temptation. Should I do this? Oh, I don't want to do that. No, it's okay, I want to do it. No, I'll not do it. You go back and forth. For the whole hesitation is there. And after doing, oh, why I did it. I should not have done it. I'm so fallen. Then you regret, repent. There is a lamentation. What happens is we will go a little bit and again the same temptation. So it does not allow our consciousness to steady. What to speak of go upward, steadily it has just keep falling down. So when we start avoiding sinful activities determinedly, we let the process bhakti work. And believe or not, our heart is illuminated with devotion. When we come in contact with devotee, whenever we associate with devotee who are serious practitioners of bhakti, then in their association, we also get bhakti. Our heart becomes illuminated. When you meet advanced devotee, I'm sure you all have experienced. After conversing, after associating for some time, you feel better. Yes, I like this devotee's association. I like his or her conversation, understanding. They're very advanced. I want to go like that. You feel illuminated. Heart is illuminated. Just like Prabhupada says, bhakti is like a fire. When a little bit part of the wood that is dry may catch fire. But if the wood has to catch fire, then the wood has to be dried. Further fall of water on the wood has to be avoided. Similarly, when our heart is in tamogun, it's like the wood which is wet. I don't know if any one of you ever tried to light fire on a wet log. Before the fire comes, there is disturbance comes called smoke. You don't want the smoke, but it irritates your eye. You say, why so much smoke? I'm looking for fire, not the smoke. But log has wet water inside. Similarly, in our bhakti path, when we come to bhakti path, but we have tamogun mentality, means we are still inclined to some sinful activity. Then what happened? We like it, but we don't like it. And after some time, Hare Krishna, too many rules, forget it, I can't do it. I like to eat what that person said. That family man told her to one Mataji, I like to eat eggs. Every day I want to eat eggs and some chicken roast or something, whatever it is. He said, I will practice, but I have to eat those. So then after sometime I met that person and I was talking. He said, yeah, sometime I like it, sometime I don't like it. I said, because you have unregular, you are not giving up sinful nature. Eating chicken means you are committing sin, taking a violence, killing another entity for your own. How are you going to pursue Krishna consciousness as a pleasant? It's not possible. That's why our life has to be regulated. So when our heart is in tamagun, it is like the wood which is wet. When the wood is wet, we really cannot make such steady spiritual practice. That is why those two things, giving up sin and doing piety, that helps our heart to come to goodness. Then bhakti can go forward steadily. Bhakti can be started in any mode, but for the bhakti to sustain, goodness is important. I hope everybody understanding. My point is, anybody can start bhakti, but to sustain, to gradually progress and grow, you have to maintain your lifestyle in sattik mood. Four equality principle has to be there. Otherwise, determination will not be there. They will fall back. That's why Prabhupada says very nicely in the purport that Ajit Prabhu read, that if one actually wants to be liberated, he must render service to the devotees. Mahat sevam dharam ahur vimukte. We have to serve the great soul. But one who associates with the materialistic people is on the path leading to the darkest region of existence. Tamodaram joshitam sangi sangam. We have to give up the association of non-devotee, materialistic people. Those who are attached to material enjoyment, we have to associate with the great devotees. Then, by that, we can make spiritual advancement. Any further discussion, or we can go to the next?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Prabhu.
Prabhu, actually, I have one question. So, if somebody has done any like sinful activities in past life or this life, early ages, and whether it can be counterbalanced with the pious activities, or can it accumulate, or that person has to be responsible for their sinful activities, and they will get what they have done. For that, they will get they have to suffer the consequences. Will how it will happen, Prabhu? That is my question.
Very good question, Prabhu. We know it says, Aprarabdha phalam papam kutam bijam phalan mukam krameneva praliyate Vishnu bhakti ratatmana. Those who are engaged in devotional service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, all sinful reaction, whether fructified or in the stalk or in the form of a seed, gradually vanish. Question is how it gradually vanish. Just like one young man born in the West, he's now very serious devotee, but he was telling me his life. When he joined in Miami, in Florida. And he said, I grew up my parents were drinking and smoking. It was like a normal. And when you are 18 plus, you can smoke. It's okay. You can drink, not get drunk, but you can drink every day, some. And eating meat is like a normal diet. So of course he became devotee. So his parents was a little concerned. But deep down in their heart, they feel that it's better to be vegetarian, vegan. You know, America is such a nice, I would say, opportunity that Government is liberal. You know, when Prabhupada came, there was not even 1%. Today we have 5% American, 5.5% American are vegan, vegetarian. You're talking about 18 million people in America are vegan right now, vegetarian, vegan. So it's growing like anything. So nice. In Bengal, it's not even 2%.
Yes.
It's horrible.
Yes.
In West Bengal, in India, not even 2% vegetarian. I was like a shock. I don't know how correct the Google report is, but it scared me. I was thinking like whole America has a 5.5% vegan vegetarian. And in West Bengal, where Lord Chaitanya appeared, not even 2%.
Yes.
That's scary. Some states are very good, like Gujarat, Maharashtra. Some states are like 50%, like 40% was so good. Kerala was bad, like 2% or something. Anyway, so back to your question, Prabhu. So this devotee, he told me, he had a conversation with Prabhupada, and Prabhupada says, you go and fold your hand and tell the Lord, I'm sorry, Prabhu, I did this before I joined. I was not aware of it. But from today, I take a vow, I'm not going to eat any meat, fish, eggs like this. I will not drink or smoke anymore. Please forgive me, and I will please empower me so I can focus in my life and progress in spiritual path. So then he asked Prabhupada, but is it possible that all my previous bad reaction will be all gone? Prabhupada said, yes, if you take it and follow it for the rest of your life. Now, I tell you one devotee who has a poultry farm in America, is a Western body. So his father has the cattle farm. You know, cattle farm means they sell cows. They literally slaughter cows. Because cattle farm in India is like a farmer, not necessarily cattle farm. Here, cattle farm means this is their business, selling meat and cows slaughter. Anyway, so this person, he joined and he became serious, but then some or other, he was the only son. His mother was sick and he went back home and he fell back. He started eating chicken and everything. Then after 2 years, he came back in Los Angeles and Prabhupada was there. And in the morning, Prabhupada saw him and he says, I know you learned how to make samosa previously. I want you to make samosa. Then immediately other devotee says, Prabhupada, but he fell down. He was eating all this chicken and everything and just, Prabhupada said, that's all right. I know he did that. I am fully aware what he did. But at least he came back and he regrets. We may fail. Krishna also watches us that are we trying to come back to him? Because he's trying to come back to him, Krishna will forgive. Krishna is not a robot. God is not a cruel. God is a kind, affectionate, like mother. And the devotee, today, he's in India, Vrindavan, as I'm speaking now, and he's so serious, so chanting so seriously. Comes back from a very wealthy Western body, but some or other he tumbled. You know, tumble means he came, surrendered, then he fell down again, came back again, he fell down twice. And then he took it seriously. No, I'm not going home anymore. I don't want to eat all these things, garbage. And he took it seriously until today he's very steady. So like that, Prabhu, you don't have to suffer, nobody has to suffer, provided we have a seriousness that we want to progress.
Yes.
You know, one thing is, I may not have a facility to say I'm a celibate monk. Well, I am. So I am celibate monk. Now, if I have a facility for breaking my celibacy, then is one thing. And if I don't have a facility, is another thing. What Krishna watches my intention. Do I really want to come back to him in a pure, simple way, not duplicitous way, not trying to, take advantage of the process and just, in Bengal, they said, "Dhori mach nachoi pani." You want to be involved in the sinful activity, at the same time you don't want to get caught. Well, that's not going to happen, because Krishna is very clever, he knows. But at the same time, I don't know how many of you studied Moses 5 chapter. It says that the God get angry when you go to approach another God. Certain things are there that you could be scary. Like if you drink, you are not allowed into mosque. They literally throw you out. You cannot drink and enter into mosque. They literally do. This devotee told me, whose father was one of the mullah, big mullah, and he became a devotee. Prabhupada initiated him, Ravanari Prabhu. But he said they're so strict. They're so strict. So when he read this four regulative principle, he was like so happy, and he met Prabhupada. And he's a very active preacher, but not in a public, because it's a little scary also. But educated Muslim, they understand Krishna consciousness value. Uneducated, they are fanatics. So there are a lot of risk involved in. We are not converting anybody, we are reforming, because originally everybody is a servant of God, bringing them back to their normalities like that. So Somen Prabhu, we have to look at from that angle.
Yes.
If you have a genuine, some sincerity, Krishna looks at that sincerity.
Yes.
That doesn't mean, somebody may not tumble or fall. But if he really try his best, but still cannot, because we can see sometime we are helpless. Maya is so powerful.
Yeah.
But then Prabhupada said, Maya is powerful because you are weak. So he said, you have to be strong. And when you are strong, Maya is weak. Maya is powerful because you are weak.
Yes.
So we have to make our own decision. What do we want?
Yes. Thank you, Prabhu, for explaining. Very nice explanation. Thank you, Prabhu. Back.
Thank you. Prahladananda Prabhu.
Yeah, Prabhuji. Okay, let's see. Come on. There is a relevant sloka I came across in 11th canto, 5th chapter, which says about Dhrad Nishchaya, that we are trying and falling like that.
Yes.
That's a good one.
Yes, 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 yes.
11 is 11, 20, 11, 20, then 27, 28. Nishchaya.
Jato sraddha matkata su nirvinna sarva karmasu. Veda dukkhatmakan kaman parityaga vinishra. Yes, it's one of my favorite verse too. Yes, that's true. Krishna really watches us, how sincerely we are trying to come. And if we are sincere, Krishna will always reciprocate and protect us. Now we have to remember one thing. Krishna is not going to remove the obstacles that we have created as if our reaction of our previous karma. What Krishna does, Krishna will walk through with us and make sure you don't fall. But it's not that we pray Krishna and Krishna will just remove the whole obstacle. No, not like that. Not like that. Mat chitta sarva durgani mat prasada tarishashi. Tarishashi does not mean he will remove. Tarishashi means Krishna says, you will cross. I'll be there with you. Just like Pandavas. I mean, they face so much struggle. Of course, as a devotee, they don't have to face, but Krishna brings them to show us that how we can depend on Krishna, and Krishna will hold our hand and will walk through the struggle and will pass it, will cross it. So that's very good, Praladanda Prabhu. 11.20.27.28, yes.
Yeah. Thank you. Haribol Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. Philip, you have raised hand.
Haribol, yeah, I got a question related.
Yes,
You
nice
said
to
something.
hear from you.
Oh, this is such great association. I appreciate everybody on the call. The questions help me get more deeper into my spirituality. But I noticed being in the temple, I feel like, you just said Maya's strong when you're weak. And so I noticed like being with the devotees, it's like building spiritual armor. But I've also noticed that I have weaknesses, and being with devotees, it's like you said, Krishna kind of catches you when you feel like, oh, this is difficult. Someone will say something that wakes you up. You'll see something that wakes you up. But then when you have situations like association with family members that bring you back down, how do you give us, like, how do you manage association with family members that bring you down without, I suppose, being offensive to them? And I ask because one of the devotees here says, you can't just abandon your old family members, even if they're bad association per se. So how do you manage family relationships in a way where they don't bring you down while you're trying to build that spiritual armor?
Very good, Philip. See, you are outside, you associate with the devotees in New York, then you came back to Orlando, now you are back to New York, and then you move into temple. So you looked at your heart and you felt some sincere desire to progress, and you found the temple atmosphere was more conducive in a sense that you felt you can advance quicker. We never regret, or we never actually condemn any family members or anyone, but their purpose is different than your purposes right now. You have to learn the art not to develop any hate or resentment against anybody, especially the family member. You can pray for them. At the same time, any association that makes your devotional path more strong, you feel more attraction towards Krishna, hold on to that devotee association. Even within our devotee association, we are born with a particular orientation. Like some devotee likes philosophical oriented nature, some people are like emotional, some are like people oriented, action oriented. Every devotee has his uniqueness. See yourself whose association actually keeps you very strong and growing more. Try to associate with that devotee. Not necessarily you look down others, but you see that for your benefit. Just like in medicine cabinet, there's so many medicine. I saw in one time in CBS, even for the flu, I remember when COVID started, even for the flu, there's probably like 10, 20, all flu medicine. And it's confusing. It's almost like the same ingredient, same all these things. And then I kind of got frustrated. I said, forget it. Then I call Dr. Prabir, and he said, oh, Prabhu, don't worry. You just take that one. It was easy because I trusted him. He's a devotee and he's a doctor acting. And so with this, same thing, all the devotees are wonderful, but not necessarily you're drawing the affection from everybody. Some devotee may really think, I want Philip to really progress. They don't say it, but they really feel, oh, I wish Philip going to progress in spiritual path. And then he or she will relate to you that way. And you can feel, yeah, that devotee actually care for my spiritual path more than others. And their association, maybe you can, if you want to go visit your family, take that devotee with you. Because certain thing you may not detect. We have a bad impression with the family members sometimes. It's difficult to avoid. But if we have a good devotee association, it will prevent, it will protect. We don't look down the family members. Because, especially parents, they raised you, they gave you life. We have a debts. But that doesn't mean we have to serve them whole life and forget about God. The purpose of human life is not just to serve the parents. Purpose of human life to awaken love for God. So if any parents is actually helping the child, they are acting as a real parents. So we have to look at from different consideration. As long you don't have any bad feeling, enmity feeling, or resentment or hate against any family member, you will be fine. Because ultimately, we were discussing other day, when you become a serious devotee, the best thing you can do for the family member, become yourself a serious devotee. Why? Because if you look at Philip, you write it down this sloka, at 7th canto, 10th chapter, 18th verse. And it tells you that when you become a serious devotee, then Krishna will arrange a process for all your family member to come to Krishna consciousness, whether this life or next life, but they will get an opportunity. So that's the best thing you can do. The best thing you can do for your family member, become yourself a great devotee.
Yes.
Instead of too much concern.
Ooh, I fell out of the meeting. That's perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah.
If you look at that one, I really want you to read that sometime. 7.10.18. That what Krishna says, Nishingadev told Prahlad, that when one person become a good devotee, Krishna will arrange family member to also come to bhakti. So you don't have to be concerned, oh, I'm not doing anything for my family. Best thing you can do, become yourself a good devotee. That's all.
Okay. Should I memorize it or write it down and keep it somewhere?
If you know, I say, you may have a money, you kept it in somebody's pocket, but when you are hungry, you need to buy something, you may not have the money, then what is the value of you having money in somebody else's pocket?
Hare Krishna. I understand, Prabhu.
So if you keep it with your memory, that is the best. Because if you challenge to someone, if you explain them, if you don't remember that, where it is, then it may not work. If you say, no, I read it in 7th canto Bhagavatam, God says that if I become a serious good devotee, God will help my entire family member to come to God. How he will arrange, that's a different. So best thing I can do for my family, that become myself a good devotee.
Yeah, thank you so much for that verse. Yeah, I think the mind likes to jump places, but if I have something to reference at all times, it could keep it bring it back where it needs to be and keep me focused.
Yes. So I think we have 2 more verses, 29 and 30. We'll do it next week. It's no rush. And hope you all have a wonderful Thanksgiving, whatever lunch or dinner. And hope to see you all next Wednesday.
Yeah. So
Is that
Prabhu,
okay?
yeah, Prabhu, this week we have the Kirtan Fest in Alachua, Prabhu.
Yeah,
This-
right now it's going on.
Yeah, Friday, Thursday, Friday, but I believe in weekend maybe, Prabhu, 4 days. Coming 4 days.
No, it's already started, Prabhu, in the evening.
Oh, okay, today, from
Started
today.
right now. But tomorrow, nothing, because tomorrow is a
Yes.
Thanksgiving big lunch in Alachua temple.
Alachua temple, yes, Prabhu.
Yeah. And then Friday, Kirtan, 10 to 10, 10 o'clock in the morning till night 10. And then Saturday also 10 to 10. It's beautiful. We get like 1,000 devotees comes.
Yes, Prabhu.
Kirtan.
Yeah, different parts of the United States they used to visit, and actually 2
Yes,
years
yes.
before Sripat Swami, Joypataka Swami Maharaj actually came that time, and we marginally missed him. Actually, he came to the tent just 3 years before Prabhu, Sripat Joypataka Swami Maharaj. His
Very
holiness.
nice. It's coming to New Orleans on in December. If you want to come, you can come. I'm going to go there
Okay,
too.
okay. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving and looking forward to see you next Wednesday. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Panchakalpataru Vishya Kripa Sindhu Bhaiva Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo